Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Today I want to talk to you about some structures on the moon, and if you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, I tweeted and posted a Facebook post a little bit ago, and I said that I was going to be working on a video that pointed out some of the most legitimate and undeniable artificially made objects on the moon, and I wasn't kidding. And those objects you're seeing here. Now, let me give you a little bit of background on these structures, and we're going to go in depth here. I'm going to show you what these structures are. Alright, so bear with me. Now, these structures that you're seeing here, and I'm talking about this massive rectangular shaped building here, projecting this big shadow, and this second object, once again, sticking up out of the moon's surface, completely alien to any of the other surroundings. And the amazing thing about this is, if you're going to try to say that, hey, this is just a glitch, because this footage and, well, this image that you're seeing right here is from the LROC. It's from the Lunar Orbiter, which is a satellite that is orbiting the moon, that has been orbiting the moon for years now, decades. That is mapping the entire moon's surface, front and back, top to bottom. And again, this is from the Lunar Orbiter, showing a few different structures here. So we have this massive rectangular structure, or tube-shaped, cigar-shaped, whatever you want to call it. Then we have a second object right here, which is a little bit more abstract, but nonetheless alien to its surroundings, does not blend in at all. Once again, sort of rectangular in shape, has some other objects protruding from it. We have these two small objects coming from the bottom of it, almost sticking out like pegs on the bottom of this thing. And then we have another object, the smallest, but definitely not the least interesting of all three of these objects, which is this L-shaped rectangular structure here, once again also casting a shadow, and you can see makes a perfect L shape. And again, casting a large shadow, it's towering high up off the moon's surface. These are structures. This is not a glitch. Glitches do not create massive shadows. And if you're still not convinced, well, this same little formation of structures was also captured during the Apollo 16 mission. And here is the footage from that. And of course, I will put the link to these LROC and Apollo maps down in the video description. And so what you're seeing here is from the Apollo mission. We'll zoom in and we see sort of a different angle of these same structures. The sun is at a different angle, but nonetheless, the objects are there. And again, back to the LROC image, which shows these two objects in a much better light, these structures, these buildings. I mean, look at these things. Take a look at these things and tell me they're natural. I could even understand and empathize with you if you said, hey, if there was just one object here, let's say it was just a rectangular structure. Alright, maybe then I could say maybe it's natural. But again, this rectangular sort of curving object is towering above the moon's surface, casting this large shadow, but then add to it two more structures towering above the moon. When you look at the general vicinity around these objects, there's nothing that matches them. There's no disturbances on the moon's surface. There's nothing that looks like these things. So how did they get there? If they are natural, how did they get there? Let alone not even one of them. How did all three of them get there? And honestly, tell me how Mother Nature created not only one large rectangular structure, but a second structure with very alien characteristics and surface features, and I'm talking about this object here. And then in the same area, I mean, these things aren't even spread out over miles. They're all together. They're all in their little formation in the same area, as if they were put there. They're supposed to be there, just like you would see on a building formation on Earth. And we have this L-shaped structure here, once again casting a shadow. So this is a no-brainer for me. I mean, you can be a skeptic. I'm a skeptic. But there comes a point in time when you have to say, alright, I've seen enough images, I've seen enough footage, I've seen enough Apollo video, I've seen enough Apollo film footage, I've seen enough 16mm Hasselblad photos from the moon showing these structures, and there's so many of them, and you put all of this evidence in a big pile and you look at it and you say, there has to be something more to it than just Mother Nature. And I'm not going to let my skepticism override my natural ability and intelligence that'll allow you to make a sober judgment on these structures and allow yourself to understand that the moon is or has been colonized. These things are up there. We've heard from the Apollo astronauts who said that they were followed to and from the moon by these objects, these UFOs. They saw structures on the moon, saucers sitting on the edge of craters. Towers have been blurred out by NASA. We have the proof, we have the images you're seeing here. They have found these towers on the moon, they have blurred them out, and these structures are here. We have official lunar orbiter images as well as Apollo imagery placing them here. They are there. So let's move on to some other very compelling and interesting things that we found on the moon. One of such images you're seeing here, and this was caught during the Apollo 16 mission of what looks like some sort of electrical discharge happening on the moon. And again, we will put the link to this down in the video description. And as you're seeing, and we will zoom out here, we have what looks like almost a lightning bolt happening in a crater. You can see the electricity branching off of this object, traversing the moon's surface, and continues over the moon's surface down into another crater, as you're seeing here. Continues down into another crater, into the shadows, and branches off again. And you can actually see, it's odd, because you can actually see the sunlight glinting off of the top of one of these supposed, almost lightning strikes, which again is odd. It makes you wonder whether this is lightning, whether it's electricity, whether it's something else, whether it's some sort of piping structure that simply looks like some sort of plasma burst on the moon. But it's right here, folks. The moon is an enigma, and there's a question of whether the moon has even been here or whether it was put here, and whether or not it is actually a moon or whether it's an artificial hollow structure. Now, we've also found pyramids on the moon. I want you to look at this image here, what very well looks like a pyramid on the moon, as you're seeing here. And you can actually see it looks like a four-sided pyramid, albeit eroded, could possibly be ancient. But you can see this dividing line that comes down, just like you'd see on the pyramids of Giza, coming down here, a very sharp line differentiating these separate pyramid walls. So you look at this thing and compare it to the pyramids in Giza or any other pyramids like it, four-sided pyramids. And speaking of pyramids, I was sent another image on the moon, from the moon, by a viewer, that image that you're seeing here, of what very well may be 3 more pyramids on the moon. And this image was sent to me by a viewer, and he pointed out in his email that when you compare this image to the pyramids of Giza, where we have these 3 pyramids, and you're seeing that image now, these both look very similar. And as you know, there have even been pyramids found on Mars, actually right near the infamous Mars face that's on Mars' surface that NASA has tried to cover up by posting bogus images, supposedly high-resolution images, which are nothing but fabrications to cover up the actual face that's there. So again, this image of the moon with these 3 pyramid-shaped structures looks very similar to this image here of the pyramids of Giza. So these pyramids, I believe, represent a universal symbol. I believe that there are other planets out there that have these 3 pyramids. I mean, you look at the pyramids on Earth, and they are directly dead center of our equator, almost as if they are a weight put on the Earth. Some have said that the pyramids are specifically placed weights, placed dead center on our equator to properly balance out the Earth and allow it to rotate and stay in a rotation and an orbit that allows it to thrive. And there are many mysteries regarding the pyramids on Earth, all of which we will be doing a video on very soon, so look out for that. But nonetheless, there are very interesting things on the moon. There are bases there. Another image you're seeing here of one of these structures that just simply does not belong. Once again, taken during the Apollo missions. You can see it here, multiple buildings. It's just simply asinine for anyone to sit and think using their intelligence, using the brain they have, and believe that the moon is vacant and that the space around Earth is vacant, and that we are the only intelligent species within hundreds of millions of light years, and that we are not being visited, and that this whole entire UFO phenomenon boils down to swamp gas and to misinterpretations and to natural happenings. And I think if you've watched our channel, you know that not to be the case. So let me know what you guys think. Some amazing times. We will keep on doing this research as long as you guys are right here with us, helping us out, sending us new footage and emails. You guys are a big help. We wouldn't have a channel without you. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to stick around, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you back real soon. Stay safe, guys.